So it was after work, and around the corner from the store that I worked at, where I was the display manager, was this great little charity store that I used to buy my clothes at. So I went to the store and I had my purse slung across my shoulder. And as I was going through the racks, and this is a huge charity store, I mean, it is just ginormous. So anyway, I'm going through the racks and I had taken off my purse to hang it on the bottom or on the bottom rack of the coats. And I'm checking myself out in the mirror and I put the coat in my cart. Well, I go to check out and I do not have my purse. And I am running around the store, and again, it's huge, and it's just a sea of clothing. And I had managed to hang my purse on the end cap of one of the racks. Well, let's see. Without my purse, I have no phone, which means I have no phone numbers, and nor do I have any phone numbers memorized. None, like zip, because either my kids kept changing their phones and phone numbers, or I got a new phone, or I'm just old and I don't retain phone numbers like I used to be. So basically, I knew no one's phone number. I mean, the only one probably I could have come up with was my soon-to-be ex-husband, and we were in no contact, and I think we'd both blocked each other anyway. But the fact was, I had no keys to my car, no way to get into my apartment, no way to call anybody, no money to get an Uber. I have never felt so vulnerable and so alone in my entire life. I mean, I was panicking. I'm running around. I'm asking people if they see my purse, but goodness, this is a store that sells probably 50 purses that look just like mine. And I could not wrap my mind around the sense of loneliness that I felt. I just was trying not to have a huge panic attack, and I'm running through my mind, what do I do? Again, I can't get into my apartment. I live on the second story, so there's not even a way that if I could get a ride to my apartment, I could have broken in. It was after hours. My work was closed. I could have walked to it. I mean, I briefly thought of going to my work and literally like breaking the window so that somebody would call my manager. Do I hitchhike? I mean, it's dark outside. Again, I just was trying to not dissolve in a puddle of tears because I realized I had lost my it person. Through my divorce, the one person that would have been able to come and get me, I could have called him. At least that's one person's phone number that I knew. That person was gone. And I was a 60-year-old woman totally alone in the world. Tears are starting to fall, and I'm trying to use critical thinking skills. Okay, do I call the police and have them bring me home? But if I got home, I can't get into my apartment. It's after hours. So anyway, the charity store was run by a church, and I closed my eyes and I went to prayer. And, this is not to be all preachy, but in that moment, it's just I needed something. And I just then thought, I will just go row by row. And I thought, okay, let me not look eye level. Let me look lower, because I've got grandchildren. And I know that sometimes you need to look at the world from closer to the ground. And by some, what I will call small miracle, I wound up seeing my purse nestled in all the black coats. The fact that it was a black purse among black coats in itself was a small miracle that I would see it hanging down there. But the moral of the story is, who is your it person? And the moral is, Linda, for heaven's sakes, you need to memorize at least one of your children's phone numbers so that if you were to get into an emergency, you would know who to call. And so this is the moral of the story. Smartphones that do everything where we just say, call my daughter and it rings up, well, maybe that's just not a smart move on my part. Again, memorize phone numbers and who is your it person. And I think that probably applies for not only if you're a senior and you're trying to navigate life alone, but pretty much for everyone, don't you think? So anyway, that's my little story, and my then hope for you is that you will memorize at least one or two phone numbers, because again, if you have lost your purse, you've lost your keys to your house, your keys to your car, you've lost your phone, you've lost your wallet, you've lost whatever money or credit card was in your purse. So hard lesson that I learned going through just what I thought or still think was one of the worst points of my life. Anyway, I am so glad that you're here. I am so glad that we are navigating this journey together. Know that this is a safe space. I want you to be part of the process of healing for all of us, and know that I am here to be your cheerleader. And I started this channel because I was at such a low point in my life after my husband blindsided me and wanted a divorce shortly before my 60th birthday. And coincidentally, at the start of COVID, when I was totally alone in the world and didn't see that it was, a world worth living in. And I know that you were there and I am here, and clearly it is all good, and we can do this. We can navigate this journey together. So please share or like or subscribe. I would love for you to be a part of this whole journey for us to be our best selves in the later years of our life. Thank you so much for joining me. Know that I see you, my sweet soul, and that I honor your journey. Be well.